creating something is one of the great rewards of being an academic, and I think you do that best if you're not doing it 100% of the time. When I am fishing here, I don't think about my research. The most important thing about fishing is that it isn't about catching fish. It's about being in a peaceful place, letting your mind be perfectly empty. The balance between family and career is one of the most important and most difficult balances that people in all professions have to face. My family expects and deserves kind of equal share. And so I've always felt, I can work hard and it's my time, and then I have to really reserve the time for the family. I often get asked, especially with young people, how do you do this? And I think you just have to decide that this is not a compromise that you want to give up.
We adore our children. After Rob won the prize, I said to them, do you think Dad worked really hard? And they both looked at me and said no. And that was because we always had dinner as a family, and he was with them until they went to sleep. And oftentimes he wouldn't work late at night because he said it was bad for his sleep. So he would get up early. So he, of course he works all the time, but they didn't feel it.
When I want to break from work, it has to be a pretty serious break, otherwise my mind keeps going back to it. Skating does that for me. When I'm skating, I never think about work. I had a wonderful time with my dad because each time we would go home for vacation, he would take me off to the skating club, and there'd be all these ladies that he normally skated with, and they would help me learn whatever was the next step.
I met him in Central Park, skating outside, whether they were, young or old, or couldn't skate very well, or could skate. He danced with everyone with a huge smile on his face. And so we would skate together. 3 or 4 years later, we did our first competition.
You must honestly realize that being a competitive ice skater at this age is not really a profession, it's just a hobby. And it keeps me in pretty good shape. And it's important, I think, for my mental health and my physical health to do this. I'm pretty versatile. I like the Ritz-Carlton, and I like camping. And I love being in nature and hiking and being 50 miles from the nearest person, and I love being in a 3-star restaurant in the middle of a sophisticated city.
Rob used to be called by his family the fearless, peerless leader. He was the oldest of all the kids, and the parents would let these kids take canoes, put stuff in there, and they would go off for 2 or 3 days. And so here you can see they're either coming back or going, I'm not sure. And there's the fearless, peerless right there. I know, it's funny, right? And sometimes we still laugh and call them fearless, peerless.
Family is very important, and we make our own traditions, and then we carry them on.
One moment that was amazing was when he heard he won the Nobel Prize. We were, makes me teary. It is a game changer in the sense that I think if you want to, as a Nobel laureate and spouse, you can become people of the world and have impact. The last words, he'll tell you this too, they said to him was,
"We are going to tell the press in 5 minutes, and your life will never be the same again." This is a famous quote, I think. And we sort of looked at each other.
And Rob said to me, "Oh my God," they said, "my life will never be the same. What shall I do?" I said, "Change your shirt."
It's changed dramatically, but for the better. I mean, I feel like there are so many opportunities. I get to meet lots of interesting people, and I get to talk about the research that I like, and maybe even move public policy and people's opinions a little bit in a way which I think is helpful. So I think it's really all good. I'm very happy. I think it's to work hard and play hard. Keep a balance in your life. You can't just be brilliant